Well, the federal budget released this week is now proposing spending $925.6 million, almost $1 billion, over the next 5 years to support a large-scale sovereign public AI infrastructure. But experts say the push to build world-class AI infrastructure really means little if everyday Canadians really don't know how to use the technology properly. And if you're typing what is ChatGPT into ChatGPT, you're kind of a long way from understanding it. So let's get more of an understanding. Founder and CEO of GrowClass is Sarah Stockdale. Sarah, appreciate you being here today. Let's talk about the first thing we just discussed here. Almost $1 billion in AI investment, for some sort of sovereign AI in Canada. Just how important is that to the space? And then we'll get into why people need to know more as well.
Absolutely. It's incredibly important. And I'm so excited to see this investment from the Canadian government. We need our own infrastructure. We are currently renting roads and factories, mostly from the US. And they can change the rules and the price of that at any time. So having those capabilities domestically is really important for Canada.
So is $1 billion, effectively, let's round it up, is that going to be enough, do you think, to do that?
It's a good start.
Yeah.
And we need to be seeing these investments. And AI is noted over 1,000 times in the budget. So we know that this is a main priority of the Canadian federal government, which is great to see.
Yeah, that is good to see. But the thing is, the other point of this whole conversation is the fact that if people don't really understand what they're doing or how it works or how they can help make it work for them, then it's kind of not going to be that useful, is it? Yeah,
so we're basically spending $1 billion to build what you can think of as really advanced hospitals without training nurses or doctors or support staff. So in this budget, we have this incredible investment in infrastructure and $0 going towards educating the Canadian labor force.
That's a shortcoming then, isn't it? That's a huge shortcoming.
It's a huge shortcoming because we know that Canadians are anxious about AI coming for their jobs. 30% of Canadians say they're worried that it's coming for their jobs.
Yeah, I think a lot about it. And I think a lot of us should be thinking about it based on the wave that's sort of cresting right now with AI. You've been training a lot of Canadians, particularly a lot of women in the workforce as well here. What is it you see and hear from people as they sort of approach the tool, and then when they start to understand it, how their feelings perhaps change or adjust?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially, so we work primarily, we have a program right now called AI Skills Lab Canada in partnership with the Forum and Camp Tech that's funded by the federal government. And our mandate is to train 250 women entrepreneurs in these tools. And so what we're seeing is Canadians are asking their employers for this training, and we're training the employers, and we're seeing the gap there. They don't actually have the tools in order to bring those to their to bring that to their workforce. And when we give them that confidence, when we give them the ability to build features for their company or build things, especially for women, that they can monetize for their businesses, it's a huge unlock. But they need the education and the support to get there.
And the fact that employers have this gap in it as well, that's sort of part of this whole conundrum here. It's like we're all kind of in a deficit in a way right now.
Yeah. Only 12% of Canadians have received any AI training at all, but 42% of them are using it every day at work. That's like having a car and never getting a driver's license.
Yeah, that's an interesting analogy here. And going back to the sovereign AI infrastructure, you mentioned about how we're essentially like borrowing roads from the Americans. We look at what the current trading relationship is with like the Americans right now. And this is a kind of thing like data, IP, business sensitive information. You want to make sure this is kind of contained to Canada, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely. And if we are using their infrastructure, even if the data is kept in Canada, we're playing by their rules. And we've seen that this government is interesting with rules, and we don't necessarily want to be beholden to that.
Yeah, you're referring to the Trump government, I assume.
Course.
Yeah, okay. Just making sure. So, the fact that we also have an AI minister here for the first time in this country, Evan Solomon, our former colleague here at CTV, what do you make of the significance of that? I mean, it seems that it's beyond symbolic. Like you mentioned, AI mentioned so many times in the budget here. Canada seems to be taking it seriously. The workforce is trying to get on board here. How do we make this all kind of come together?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the appointment of Minister Solomon is an incredible step, and it shows how serious this government is about this problem. In order to kind of close this gap, we need a national upskilling initiative. Canadians aren't ready. They aren't ready for the impacts to their jobs. They aren't ready for the new kinds of jobs that we're going to need. And specifically, women and underrepresented people are most impacted by these changes. We see in this budget that the people who are most likely to benefit from the infrastructure investment are men. The budget says that directly. It says that it's a risk and a problem, but it has no solutions for them.
Well, maybe this kind of conversation is where things need to go to get closer to those solutions. Sarah Stockdale, appreciate the time this morning.
Thanks
for being here. Appreciate the efforts.